Hello, Troy A. Shadowing Tronics. Sorry about things getting all delayed up on the Art Soundoff challenge front. It's been a week. A week with that, thank God, has had a happy ending, but a week nonetheless. So this has kind of messed me up a bit, and I'm gonna see how much I can recover. It seems like this year's Art Soundoff wasn't technical issues; it was personal issues. I just needed some time to breathe, so I didn't get to do this. But I did not want to end this week without at least coloring Batman. As far as the backgrounds, I haven't decided how I'm going to integrate that in yet, but I can still at least show off some cool tricks with the coloring phase, because I'm not trying to create a coloring book. Now, in order to color this, you may recall that I've already basically done this before. I could easily turn this on, turn the colors here, and then just go through and click on colors and use it that way. I would probably have to, but that's going to get really confusing. I didn't color the old buckle? Huh, no, I didn't. Or no, maybe it's, I think it's black and white somehow, so that would be even harder for me to do. So, we're not going to do that. Now, there are two things that I can do to bring the original picture up to use as sort of a makeshift palette. I can reopen the original PNG. Then you got to go back and forth, back and forth. It's annoying as heck. So an alternate way to do it would be to drag it into the navigator window over here, and it now forms this little thing here that you can move around apart from the actual image, and you can copy pictures that way. And then just come back in here and but that's not the method I use. That's just you know how I always say I like options, so I wanted to show you that option exists. Here's what I do. Over here in this navigator, there's 4 tabs. One is the regular navigator. One is system information. One is an item bank, which I won't talk about here because I don't really use them. Probably should, but I'm still trying to figure out exactly what item bank is. I'm sure I'll find out eventually, because another method is this. It's called subview. Now this is for a different project, but I can go into I'm trying to remember where I have this thing. Hang on a minute. Okay. I'm going to have to do some editing on that one because there's some stuff there I didn't want to show. But basically, I just opened up here and clicked the reconstruction zone Batman, and there he is. Now I can take and zoom in. I can click here, and I can just do left click on here, and it will form the color I want. So we go back into this folder, go into color. Now, before I start that, ink layer. There's a little thing here called set as reference layer. Click that. This is now your reference layer. Go into color, bring in the fill toolbox, and click on refer other layers. This should only color the spots with using the line art as a guide. You can click this off, and now you can use it as a hand and move it to the position you want, and re-click it. So, I'm not done with this. not getting that spot, so I'll just go into the brush, let the brush, and lightly color that in, that one spot. Now here, let me go talk a little bit about my thought processing here. When I came up with reconstruction on Batman, it's like, what color should I make the outfit? Sometimes you get all black, sometimes you get the black cape and cowl, or dark gray cape and cowl. And I just realized a screw up I made here. Hang on, I gotta fix this. And I'm not going to set up the... No. No point setting up the... No point in setting up the tablet just for that. So then we'll go back to color. I can right click on the color on the palette and use that. So do I use the classic blue? Do I use black? Do I use gray? My answer came, there's a really good YouTube show called Witch Ninja. It's on the Gaijin Goomba Media YouTube channel. And it's, of all the shows he does, that one is my favorite. And they have this, whenever they talk about comparing fictional ninjas to real life ninjas of the past, they always note that ninjas wear blue because it actually contrasted better with the background. But he did an episode on Batman and said that it is possible that black would work better in a modern city. I decided I wanted to kind of go between the two, so I went with a very dark blue instead of the traditional light blue. So it's kind of my way of mixing the two ideas, because I don't know which would work better in the shadows, because I don't know that much about color in that range. So we're going to make his gloves, oh, that's the batarang. The only thing is, I realized a problem right here. Let me delete the gauntlet part here. I'm just going to make his gloves. Hang on. Sorry on that pause, I got called away. Go back into Clip Studio. And I don't know what see, I mentioned the ninja. Okay, right, the gauntlets. Gauntlets are coming out a bit. If I darken it, I can't see the line art, so it makes it all pointless. So let's go here. Let's see if we can lighten it up a bit, maybe. Maybe I just got the wrong angle to be able to pull that off. Yeah, I think that's what it is. There we go, we got a bluish gray. Oh, that works. That actually works pretty well. They don't want them to look, because they're supposed to be gauntlets, but I don't want them to be shiny. I want them to be, because that kind of defeats the purpose. And we're doing this again. Clean up with the brush. The only problem is when you got the sub view, you got to switch back to the navigator in order to be able to move your window around. Clean this up a bit. You can also right click on the thing when it's actually here and fix the color. Now turn this off to go back to the actually this one I don't think for this I don't need to, I just need to, I like to choose gray instead of completely black because the line art is usually all black, so this way it kind of stands out a bit more. And let's see here, I want to use this yellow, or just look at one of my other yellows. See, pale, I don't think this will look right. This is gonna be... Okay. I can see this is gonna be a problem, so let me try something here. Not a lot of space in there, so... Oh, okay, that'll work. If I close again. Nope, this didn't work. I don't like this. So, this is, I think, a darker shade of yellow. No. That would be really cool. Yellow vivid may be too strong. No, I like it. What's real cool is you made the yellow glow in the dark, but that's going to take a lot more work at this size than I really have the urge to use. Use a solution to make this faster. Still learning a lot about Clip Studio Paint. I am not even close to being an expert. Okay, so I want to go back to this one. Fix that in. Color in the... And just drag across. Well, I would drag across if it were working. It is not, so let's just use the brush to... And up here. That looks nice. That's good. Now, the eyes are going to be white. Teeth, I'm going to make a very light gray. Let's go with 15%. This is stuff that in this design can close to create a kind of shield. And then skin 2 is usually my go-to for skin color. So as far as the outfit goes, in this redesign, if you in case you don't remember, this is supposed to be a bit padded. Not so much armor, because I don't think armor makes stealth all that easy. And yes, I have seen people in medieval knight outfits doing parkour. This is a padded outfit, and that's how I'll color it like this. But for the limbs, they're going to be a bit softer, so I'm going to get them a lighter color. The belt should be yellow. And let me see something here. Oop, nope. Let's see. Not pale. I want muddy. Muddy might work. This is going to be a little tougher with the mouse. But... Oh, that's right. That's on the ink layer. So, and on the ink layer, the fill tool will not work at all. Now in the color, we will go back to the yellow from earlier. Oh, crud. Wait, how is it going? If I'm clicking here, why is it bleeding out all the way over there? So we close gap all the way, and it's still not working. So much for showing off the close gap feature. Very rotten so-and-so. So the... Okay. That is the general color. We'll save that. And now I'm going to make a copy of the color so if I screw up, I have a leftover, because I trying to make the shadows their own layer is difficult with the tools I use, and I'll explain that in a moment. I don't know if you can hear the barking dogs, and I won't shut up. Time I really need them to shut up. So, in our brush, I go to the shadow tool. This is going to be easier if I use the tablet. Let me plug it in. I'm going to mess with the brush sizes. Now, start by trying to figure out, go back to the original drawing, trying to figure out where the light is, because I had the moon, the bat symbol, the bat signal shining over here, and if I do get to show you the background, I'll show you how I pull that. I'm going to pull that off. Zoom out a bit. I'm not sure how much light there actually is going to be on top of a building. Let's pretend the light's coming in. The light's coming in this way. That's what we'll do. Pretend the light's coming in that way. Ooh! And this is where we do a lot of right clicky. And you'll go back to the navigator. I'm using the shadow to show where the nose of the mask is. And I think it's because this is dark, you're not really seeing much in the way of the shadows here. Under the chin. I'm still, like I said before, I'm still learning how to do shadows, so. Oh. Fix something here. Now the shadow tool, there's two things I can do. One is I can leave the shadow settings alone and have it come out like this. With some colors, I actually have to take and darken the color. Man, this is a pain with the mouse. Let me get this on. All right. There we go. Drawing glove on. Slides easier over the surface of the tablet. I'm not going to set the table up. Working. There we go. That's looking better. You know, if I were smart, what I'd be doing right now is selecting the area that I'm shadowing right now. This way the shadows wouldn't bleed into the other shadows. Like it just did now. But I did not start this smartly. Also, keep having that trouble. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. Probably be easy. Probably still have to do that even if I were going to put the shadows on their own layer, just to make sure the shadow show up where I want it. The shadow tool in the airbrush tools, the airbrush subtool in the airbrush tools make this so much easier, and I wish more people knew about this. It's already set up to be used. Doesn't get, let's get the outside of the cape, which I really didn't want, but it's okay. Just be a little more. This should be a lot easier to bypass than the Actually, I do want this. Partly, at least this side of it should probably. Am I lightening up on my hand a bit? I believe it gets lighter. Let me try that. Oh, right. As I lighten my hand, the shadow lightens up. Good. That's what I wanted. So, it would come down here. If I put all the pressure on, it gets heavy. If I start leaving the pressure up, it gets lighter. I don't know how well you can tell that on there, but that's what it's doing. Now I'll change to the gray. And I just want a light shadow here on the cape. Ah! What happened? Why did you turn around? What did I click? I didn't want to click. Okay, that's better. Must have clicked somewhere I didn't want to. So now I'm going to bring the brush down, and we'll shadow around the buckle of the bat belt here, and well, size a bit. Oh, my hand keeps slipping. Where was this glove and my hand slipping? Not going where I want it to. I don't think I'm doing the shadow exactly right. I'm also just showing off the tool right now. Very light, so heavy. Now on the legs, getting some shadow from the suit, which actually that's how I want to do. We do that, then it's in place. Now I auto select and just select this area here. I know this is not really talking a whole lot here, but rambling a bit. Now, I'm going to select two legs, because I have this set on multiple select. Go back to my shadow tool. Yep. Yep. Be a little heavier here than it is here. Okay. I don't know if you heard that, what he said, but nope. Very here. By selecting it, I can go over and just get Marshall on there. I don't have to worry about changing the size of the brush. Then I might want other areas, like for example here, where this is getting caught by the cape, not that much darker. darker than there. Okay. I've been trying to show this tool off for the past few art Soundoffs, but always something going wrong, so of course today something else has to go wrong. So I'm just going to put a little top here. The inside of boot coming near the end there. If it doesn't come up right, I can always take and darken it. But at this point, it's like already so dark that the shadow is just there for my peace of mind more than anything else. Oh. Select this. Shadow tool. Nope, too dark. Gotta have a light's hand on this one. There we go. Now, let me just save that real quick. Here's the problem I'm having. It's with the shadow tool would be fine if I did that on its own level, on layer. The problem is this other tool, the highlight tool. Now, in theory, the highlight tool is... What the heck is this doing now? It's like... Okay. I'm still trying to get the highlight tool to work. It's not easy with it. I think I chose the wrong art to show this, because look, it's barely doing anything. So I'm still having trouble with... No, that's not what I want to do. I want to reset. Yes, the default setting is add. Why is it making that weird... Let me just undo all the way back to just before I start trying to use this thing. I think that's right. Oh, wait. No, not auto actions. Okay, so now the last action was deselect, so... That's too big, I think. The highlight tool is good for putting in highlights for, like, yeah, let me zoom in. Let me try to zoom it a bit tighter manually here. This is like light shining off of it. I'm trying to figure out why this keeps shrinking down like that when I... Oh. It's giving me an idea of what the pressure's like. I gotta see how that works. I meant that could be useful in the future. But the highlight tool, the effect of the light shining off on it. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this one too. But Like, why is it? Is that supposed to do that? Ink. Emote add. Ending. Overflow. Do not cross lines of reference layer. Ooh, I'm gonna have to play with a few of these settings. Do not cross lines of reference layer. What's this? Strokes will not cross over lines on the reference layer. When there are opaque lines on the reference layer, only draw on the sides of the line with the center of the brush. I'll have to look into that. You know, everything I did on here is going to be redone. Just put a little bit of light on there to show that he's... You know, there is a light source. Just to give it a little contrast, I think. But then I don't know what I'm talking about. Shading is one of these things that I'm still completely trying to figure out how to do. No, I don't want to brush out. I want to zoom out. Okay. No. It's confusing me that it's doing that. Honestly, I've got to figure out what the deal is with that, because that's something I've only seen this tool do. And it means that it's making it more difficult for me to know how big this thing's actually going to be when I go to do it, because its size is being based on the fresher. So I can figure out how and why that's doing that, decide if I can work with it or if it's something I need to turn off. Well, I can play with that later. That's brush out some of this. Okay, why is this not brush? There we go. Now I'll try again. Airbrush. It's doing the whole helmet. Or the whole cowl. I don't want to do the whole cowl. I want to do the whole cowl. I'm going to do this bit on the nose here. Yeah, no, I don't think this is why this is doing this, I don't think I can work with it. But there you go. All I gotta do now is the background. So I said I was gonna show you how the coloring process. Shading is still something I'm working on, both in how to do it with Clip Studio Paint and just in general, even in paper drawing stuff on paper. I'm still learning how to shade and how to highlight. So, I mean, it's better, I think. That'd be too. What's going on? I thought this was still on. I'm still trying to figure it out. But there you go. You got a brief idea of my coloring process, some of the tools that I use in Clip Studio Paint when I color, and hopefully you got something interesting out of that. I'm sorry that I have not been as active this week as I wanted to be. It seems like I got some kind of curse with the drawing week, in that something always happens. Only this time it was something that happened to somebody else, and I had to help out with that. So, I hope you found that interesting, and we'll see what I'm going to do for the last 2 days of Art Soundoff. And until then, you can check out my website, bwspotlight.com, for my writings and to eventually see the finished product. Like I said, I still don't know if I'm going to do the background during this or not, like I had planned. And if you want to find out what Art Soundoff usually is for everyone else, check out artsoundoff.com. So, Monday I'll decide whatever it is I'm going to do. Hopefully next week will be a lot calmer, especially considering why it was a mess up this week. And until then, I wish you all happy creating and remind you, family comes first.